So, apparently the Atelier series is known for its calming mechanics. The story and world are meant to soothe and relax the player, as you enjoy the delightfully cheerful characters. Well, Jimble my Kimble, calm down, matey.
That's comedy.
So I'll be honest, I've never actually played any of the Atelier games. Yes, I know. Look, I even had bought one of the older ones. But you know how hard those PS4 cases are to open. But then, lo and behold, Atelier Ryza burst onto the scene, and the internet really liked the main character, Rysalyn Stout. What an interesting surname. Now, as a newcomer, I've had this long understanding that the Atelier games were like other JRPGs, such as Tales of Berseria, but you know, more relaxing. And with this newest one, I was hoping to find out whether this game was a good starting point to jump into the many games the series boasts. And well, we'll get there, don't worry. I mean, it starts out in a similar fashion with an anime-style cutscene introducing us to the 3 main party members. Yeah, no need to run around finding them. Your full team lineup is right there from the get-go. So you have Ryza, the energetic girl who is really bored of her life on the farm island, where her family cares for goats. She longs for a big grand adventure and so drags her 2 childhood friends, Lent and Tao, i.e. Buff Dude and Magic Healer. They jump on a rickety boat and set sail for adventure. Oh no, that's not the adventure I meant. So you take control of Ryza and run through these mini areas where the monsters roam. It really reminds me of how Berseria did it, but with way less people and enemies. Encountering a monster starts the turn-based combat, which I'll go more in depth later on. However, the group running through the forest stumble upon a girl being attacked by one of those ferret doggos. She seems to really want to protect her flute, and yes, the game tries to make it a big secret thing, but if you've played in a school band, it's pretty obvious what it is.
Solitude in E minor.
Yeah, E minor, alright, yeah!
So the gang jump in to save her, but, well... Don't worry, the cutscene saved the day with these 2 characters who literally throw a grenade to blow it up. Doesn't your back hurt? So this is Empel and Lila, 2 newcomers to town who want to investigate some ruins. The group thanked them for blowing up the creature. However, Ryza... You're a strange girl, you know that, right? This explosive love for alchemy then kickstarts the main quest, as instead of adventuring, Ryza now wants to be the best alchemist in the entire world. And to start that, she grabs a giant pot and starts brewing things in a room. I'm really hoping this isn't a drug lab. So now begins what this game is all about. Alchemy, which means gathering materials to synthesize. She learns recipes from her new sensei, gathering the materials in the world, make the thing, rinse and repeat. No, I really mean that. As for the first 6 hours, this is pretty much all you do. It really has a slow start to the game, which I guess suits the relaxing tone, because me, as the newcomer, kept sinking further and further into my chair as my muscles relaxed, while my brain was thinking, so where are the bad guys? As with most JRPGs, you have some sort of evil force shown to you, but no, not here. Instead, it's all about the exploration and adventuring and bomb making. So I guess my early impressions were completely wrong. This is nothing like the Tales of games. Instead, I would say the relaxing slow pace reminds me of Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. You know, the games where you mine materials to craft things. Okay, settle down there, buddy. Alright, so the main mechanic of this game is the synthesizing. And as the newcomer, what did I think of it? Well, so in the overworld you pick up items or swing your stick to break open objects. And every area has different materials they drop in. So, returning home with a recipe, you can now synthesize items. These can be all sorts of things like healing potions, a fishing rod, an axe to use in the overworld, or a literal house. Okay, one of these seems out of place here. Now the adorable Ryza will make objects by synthesizing through this branch-like feature. As in, you need one of this item to unlock this one, and so on till you have all of them at once to make the final product. But as I found out, the way the game tells you this with the text dump was so confusing to me as a newcomer. I honestly had no idea how to make most of the items or where to get the ingredients. Thankfully, at one point, you get this auto feature which lets the computer go through it for you. And just from this, I was able to slowly learn myself and improve on what the CPU did. It was actually a really good way to teach things through example, even if it's not what the game intended. But as to the materials themselves, that was also confusing to me. As okay, I needed this one bitter root. Now on this screen, where do you think I can learn more about where to get it? Well, it's here, and it says you can find them in these 3 places. Boy, I sure wish I knew where they were. Because yes, a big issue I had with this game is how the overworld, the map, and all that work throughout the playthrough, and it often led me astray many times. So at these boards you can fast travel to areas you visited, picking from many sections in the main area. There also is a quick travel button if you want to return home to make the items. Now that's all well and good, and I did get used to the system, but the way it words the areas, the fact that the overworld map really isn't that helpful, and how it says, oh, you'll find it in this area, but I actually had no idea where those areas actually were, and thus I spent many hours just checking this one spot, then thinking, maybe that root I needed is in these big mushrooms. Ah, but I need an axe to break them, so I made one. No, that's not it. Instead, they were in this area, and you used a sickle on the bushes. First try. You don't know how frustrating it was getting to this spot. I mean, I spent so much time just running around the entire island trying to find the materials that the game required me to get the story moving along. I'm not really running, and more like jumping, as that's way quicker. Although they could have used a different sound effect for that. I hope it comes across that what I'm trying to say as a newcomer, a lot of this game wasn't as easy to get into as you would believe. It's probably different for Atelier fans, this might all make sense to you. But okay, the game is called Secret Hideout. Well, at a certain point, you and your buddies build a house, through alchemy of course, and this becomes your new place to brew things, since your mother didn't like you doing that in your room. And with this, the game introduces the memory map, which replaces the button used to fast travel to the cauldron, which I really liked. I really liked that button. It was so convenient to press it, have it take me back to the room, to dump the items into the enormously large trunk, try the cauldron, run out to the board to fast travel to the dock, then sail to the mainland and repeat. However, with this new change in address, you can't fast travel with a simple button. No, now you have 2 ways to fast travel, with this map and the boards. It's like I finally got into a nice rhythm of collecting, fast traveling home, trying the alchemy, returning to the open world, and so on. But the game just introduces something to hinder that. And that wasn't the only instance. As with this rhythm, when you travel to areas outside of the main story, you randomly get these small cutscenes that show the character growth between the group. Now that's all fine, but why does it teleport me halfway across the map instead of leaving me where I stood? I just wanted to leave the house to use the board to fast travel. As a newcomer, I think the way the game was set up, and a lot of my misconceptions, even with its different systems compared to other JRPGs, as soon as I got used to them, it would break things up with some new mechanic. Like really, why are there 2 ways to fast travel now? I'm super sure though, if you're an Atelier fan, this will all be normal things you are used to, and you're probably rolling your eyes at me struggling to get into this. But that's just my impression as a newcomer. Okay, one more thing. So with the gathering weapons, as the first you get your main stick to break things, but later, the game requires you to make and use a sickle. These are the other weapons that break open different objects you couldn't beforehand and offer new materials. Well, I made it, but I can't seem to equip it. No matter what I do, it wasn't letting me. So I made another one and guess it works now. However, when I had to make the axe, I think I found the solution. Was that I had to sleep in bed and the next day it magically worked? Okay then, so why wasn't it working the same method with the fishing rod? Okay, enough nitpicking. Here's some things I actually really liked about this game, and that was the combat. It's turn-based with a real-time mechanic, where everyone gets their turns, enemies included, when their picture reaches the bottom. So this means while you're stuck wondering what to do, the rest of the battle continues on, and at first it can get incredibly hectic. You have the standard normal attack, but also you have this team shared tactics level that builds up after each attack. Now to use magic, it uses up some of this, and if you max it out, Ryza can upgrade it to a higher level. This then allows allows you to attack twice with your physical, and so on. The battles usually boil down to use as many normal attacks as you can, build the tactics high enough, then go nuts with specials, and as the meter goes down, it will actually build much quicker because you can get more physical attacks per turn with a higher level. You can even tell your party to hold off using specials or go all out with the D-pad. Also, by the way, if you attack with your stick in the overworld, it starts you off with a full tactics bar. The teammates also call out these commands, and if you oblige, they follow up with their own special combo. I found myself really loving battling as many enemies as I could, but then I wonder, with this incredibly anxiety-ridden fast-paced battle system, does it really fit well with the relaxing mechanics of the entire game? Because battling isn't a common thing, as sometimes you can go for hours without needing to actually battle a single monster, but when you do, it's so fast-paced and hands-on, and I guess that's why I preferred it over the other aspects of the game. I mean, you also will need to grind though, as there was this early boss that would just one-shot me, and I thought it was an optional super boss that you had to fight with the way he was placed, but no, you have to defeat him, so a grinding I went. And it was so rewarding when I finally defeated him, because it was here where I truly felt in tune with the battle mechanics. Now as to the presentation, well, the maps and areas are stunning, with vibrant colours showing up the day and night cycle really well. The music too is incredibly soothing and fun, and the battle theme really reminds me of a certain comfy anime's OP. However, there was one song that had a piano upbeat opening that you'll have heard in many rom-com anime, was overused so much, it really wasn't nice to hear after the first 10 times. Okay, so how are the characters then? Well, Ryza is a typical hyper-energetic main protagonist who wants to adventure away. Hey, eyes up here, buddy. I made my choice. Lent is a typical want to get stronger character, with a drunk dad who is a typical drunk anime stereotype. Tao is a typical shy bookworm. You kinda get it. A lot of these characters don't break the mold, and if you've played enough JRPGs, you will have seen many of these done before. That being said, I think they all suit the actual tone of the game with its relaxing nature. They fit very well into this world. Okay, so with all that being said, I think it's fair to say, I don't think this game was for me. And that's okay, because I do know it's perfect for fans who love relaxing games like Animal Crossing and so on. But the way they explain things to an Atelier fan, this might all be amazing and easy to understand. Me, however, as the newcomer, who's also expecting a typical JRPG romp, was left fighting with a lot of mechanics. And so I say, do not go in with the expectation that this is a JRPG like others. It's a slow, chill game with its own way of doing things, taking its time to introduce the world and game. Also, by the way, I want to point out there is actually no English dub at all, which I think is the standard for a lot of these games now. But okay, it's definitely not perfect, and a lot of it did feel very off for a JRPG in 2019, with small things like the mouth's not opening when attacking, very minimal indication that you're low on health outside of battles, the fact that when you're using a healing item it defaults to the first party member and not yourself, or the way the characters just move in the cutscenes. However, if you can look past these and just want a game to unwind to, I can say this is for you. Me though, I think I was just expecting a completely different thing, with grand crazy battles and pumped up music. Wait, what's this about an attack? Wait, why is the music getting ominous? How come the battles here are so challenging and rewarding? Why are we climbing up to the heavens? Is that a giant dragon? Okay, you win, game. You won me over.
Trojan, RamZaes, Magnum, Sheik.